What's happening, guys? I'm TechSource. Welcome to Setup Wars episode 205 Budget Edition. We're going to be taking a look at some setups that cost under $2,000, which includes the cost of the PC as well. If you guys want to be a part of the show, you know what to do. Make sure to watch the video linked down below to learn how to enter. Also, guys, I'm looking for people to translate Setup Wars in these languages. I made this announcement before, but it didn't go that well because a lot of people got confused. So I'm doing the announcement once again. This is a paid job, and I'm looking for people who can do voiceovers. So if you or someone you know is fluent in these languages and wants to make some money on the side, then make sure to watch the video linked down below. Anyways, with that said, let the Setup Wars begin. Level up your gaming and workstation with the Corsair One A100 gaming PC. Fully equipped with up to a Ryzen 9 3950X 16-core processor and NVIDIA's RTX 2080 Ti, you will be completing your tasks early enough and have spare time to clap cheeks online. Get the best of both worlds in a super compact and silent tower with exceptional cooling thanks to Corsair's convection cooling system that provides liquid cooling for both CPU and GPU. To learn more, click the link below. Starting off the show is Alper with a pretty cool black and red setup that took him 4 years to build. During those 4 years, he's watched Setup Wars to get inspiration and ideas on how he can build this setup, and well, here we are. He uses this for only gaming with a dual monitor setup. So he mounted a 27-inch display with the highest refresh rate against the wall, and he uses the 19-inch from Acer for multitasking. For peripherals, Alper is rocking the Corsair K68 keyboard with red lighting and a couple of mice. We got the Harpoon for gaming most likely, and the Logitech wireless mouse for everything else. But I can't tell if he cut that mouse pad or if it came like that, because it's definitely the first time I've seen that weird shape. For audio, he's using the Logitech G230 headset and some Mikado speakers that he custom painted in red to stay consistent with the theme. Very nice. I do like the simple wall shelf he added above the monitor and those framed pictures for a little bit of personality. And by the way, your drawing skills are really good. The detail on the Last of Us poster is just insane. Good stuff. Cables are managed very well. Looks like he used a channel raceway and a spiral sleeve to hide the monitor cables, and another raceway hiding the keyboard cable and the USB hub cable that he added on the side of the desk. And finally, let's take a look at the PC powering this setup. Of course, it's a budget build, rocking the Ryzen 5 2600 and an RX 580. A pretty cool budget setup to start the show. Thank you, Alper, for entering. Taking the word budget to a whole new meaning is Asjed from Sri Lanka and his extreme budget gaming setup. And I feel like extreme is an understatement over here. One thing I have to admire about the setup is that he did not take no for an answer. If there is something that Asjed wants but can't afford, well, he makes it himself. Starting with the desk, which looks like it was taken from a junkyard most likely, but it does have some cool features like built-in shelves, which he used to hold up one of his speakers. But I don't know why he put the subwoofer on the other shelf. That's not generally recommended to keep your subwoofer above your setup. Personally, I would have put your other speaker on that shelf and the sub underneath the desk. He's using a 20-inch 720p monitor with an Ola mechanical keyboard and an LDK gaming mouse. But the mouse pad he's using is actually a tablecloth of some sort. But the most creative thing about the setup has to be the PC itself. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a custom knockoff version of the Cougar Conquer case. When I first saw the pictures of this setup from a distance, I automatically assumed he was rocking that same case, but it turns out it's actually made out of cardboard and wood. That is pretty cool, not gonna lie. He's rocking a dual-core CPU with the Radeon HD 6450, which he also made a custom shroud for, and the rest of the case is made out of cardboard, which he painted in black and white. You gotta appreciate Asjed's dedication here. He couldn't afford a Cougar Conquer case, so he built one, and that's how it's done for a true budget setup. Thank you, Asjed, for entering. Coming in at number 3 is Caleb from Oklahoma and his pretty cool, simple, floating desk setup that he uses for gaming and schoolwork. He custom built that desk and made good use of that empty space in his room to build a setup. The one downside to this type of setup is cable management. Since there is no space between the wall and the desk, you are kind of forced to drill holes in it to route the cables. Speaking of which, it's not the cleanest work I've seen, but at least there are no cables visible from the top. He's rocking a 24-inch Asus monitor with a Chonchao gaming keyboard and the glorious Model O gaming mouse. And for audio, he's keeping it simple with just a gaming headset from SteelSeries. He does own a PS4 Slim as well for those exclusive titles, but he mostly games on his custom PC, which is equipped with the i5-3470 and another RX 580. Not much else to this super simple and clean setup. Thank you, Caleb, for sharing this with us. Coming up at number 4 is Nabil from France and another clean and simple setup. So he went with a white monitor and PC case to give the setup a nice contrast against the black desk. He's using a 32-inch curved display from Samsung with the Cooler Master CK530 TKL keyboard and the Harpoon wireless mouse. One thing I would have done differently is I would have gone with a smaller cable grommet for your desk, because I feel like the one you're using now is unnecessarily large, and you could have gotten away with a smaller one like this one from Amazon, which is 1.5 inches. Nabil says he uses the setup for light online gaming sessions with his friends and family while video chatting with them using his smartphone. He places the phone in horizontal mode underneath the monitor so that he can Skype and game at the same time. Pretty cool. For audio, he uses the speakers mostly, but he does have a pair of headphones that he keeps in his drawer when he's not using them. And finally, the PC powering it all is a custom build featuring another Ryzen 5 2600 and an RX 580. That is 3 in a row. You know, much like the previous setup, it's very simple and bland. It's lacking personality and really anything exciting to separate it from other basic setups. You don't have to spend a lot of money spicing it up, but maybe you could decorate it with some LEDs like the hexagon RGB panels, some RGB strips, or even a game overlamp that we see everywhere. These actually don't cost that much. You can even replace that boring map poster with an RGB lamp. The possibilities are endless, and you don't have to break the bank to personalize your setup. Personally, what I like to do is look up something that I'm a huge fan of and see what comes up on Google or Amazon that I can incorporate in my setup. And I strongly recommend you to do the same as well, just to kind of add some personality to it. Thank you, Nabil, for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Tyler from California and his retro-themed gaming and editing setup. And before you guys rip me a new hole, let me explain why this belongs in the budget edition. All 3 displays are budget monitors from Scepter that he picked up for $60, and the total cost of the setup is still less than $2,000. So he mounted all triple monitors to the desk, and for peripherals, he's rocking some Razer gear. We got the Ornata Chroma keyboard with the Mamba Elite mouse resting on top of an RGB mousepad. That's pretty much it on the desk. The only audio sources he's got are from the Astro A40s and a blue Snowball mic that's hooked up to a wall shelf that's holding up his custom PC. An interesting location indeed. Not the most ideal considering the PC is getting starved of fresh air. You are blocking both exhaust areas from the PC because of the wall and the top shelf. I would have moved the top shelf a bit higher to let some of that hot air out more effectively. It also looks like he mounted his PS4 underneath the desk using a custom mount that he made out of wood. And once again, I don't recommend this because once again, you are blocking the airflow of your system. The PS4 is known to get really hot and loud, so starving it for air underneath the desk might not be the best idea. I wouldn't be surprised if your games start to lag and stutter due to thermal throttling. If you really want to hide the PS4, you should consider mounting it against the wall behind your monitors, or maybe putting it somewhere else. Cable management isn't something to praise about, but at least he used a Signum rack to help out. Overall, I feel like it's a good setup, but it definitely has some questionable choices. With a few minor tweaks, I'm sure it could be an even better setup. Thank you, Tyler, for entering. And that's it for this episode. As always, make sure you guys vote on your favorite setup in the comment section down below, or cast your vote on the community section of my channel. If you guys enjoyed the episode, consider leaving a like. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.